Warm one out there. Welcome to the booth, everyone. Ron Pitts along with my partner, Tony Baselli. And Tony, talking about the Atlanta Falcons after what they went through last year, a big win for them last week in the opener against the Detroit Lions, and Matt Ryan was just spectacular.
Especially for a young guy. They didn't ask him to do a lot, Ron. Only asked him to throw the ball 13 times, but he completed 9. And you know what he didn't do? He didn't make the big mistake. And that's all you really want to ask from a young guy like Matt Ryan. They could not be happier with his performance.
Meanwhile, John Gruden doesn't feel the same way about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lost last week. He wanted to change some things. He took Jeff Garcia out, and he inserted Brian Griese.
And let's make one thing clear, because John Gruden told us this. It's not because of injury. Yes, Garcia's been beat up, but it's because of the bad performance he had in the last preseason game and the game against New Orleans. He feels like Brian Griese gives them the best chance to win. And Ron, let's not forget, the last 6 times Brian Griese's been the starter for Tampa Bay, they've been 5-1. They think he gives them a good chance today.
And here's a guy that gives the Atlanta Falcons a pretty good chance. Michael Turner, 220 yards rushing last week. Can he do it again? We'll find out. The Bucs taking on the Falcons. Kickoff coming up next. Here in Tampa, just started a few minutes ago. As you can see, the warm temperatures expected this time of the year. The Atlanta Falcons have won the toss. They will receive. And a look around the NFL, Tennessee, with all the talk that went on with Vince Young and the issues off the field, Kerry Collins steps in, and they get the win over Cincinnati. Buffalo with another big win, 2-0.
Giants holding the course, really dominating a St. Louis teams, which most people would have predicted coming in today. And look at Washington trying to get Jim Zorn his first victory after a really disastrous start. Looked like they rebounded pretty well.
So Matt Bryant will get us going. The Bucs in their home opener lost last week to the New Orleans Saints. They do not want to go down 0-2 in the division. Norwood been doing a little bit of everything lately on offense, on special teams, and he gets it out to about the 23-24 yard line. Matt Ryan, first career win last week against the Detroit Lions. And yes, he is the new face of the franchise. Didn't throw for a lot of yards, but his first career pass in the regular season, a 62-yard touchdown to Michael Jenkins. Nice start.
And you know what? He didn't make any big mistakes. We talked about that in the opening. That's big time for a rookie quarterback.
Derek Brooks, he was questionable all week long. He is starting. First play, throw outside, way overhead, intended for Michael Jenkins. And Brooks, 194 consecutive starts. That leads all active NFL players. The 10-time Pro Bowler. Bothered with a hamstring, but you had to figure, Tony, he was going to go.
Yeah, and the 209 is active. The active streak is how many games he has played in. It's 194 starts, 209 coming today. Today's 210.
Second down and 10. Second pass in the row. Let's see what they call. No. Roddy White makes the catch, but he's out of bounds. Philip Buchanan on the coverage. A look at the Buccaneers defense. Carter and Adams outside, Hovan and Hay inside at the tackle spot. Barrett Ruud will wear the defensive communication device. That's new this year in the NFL. This second gave up some big plays. Last week against Drew Brees, they have vowed to play better and above all not give up the big pass play.
They were the best pass defense in the NFL last year. They want to get back to that form.
They were ranked number 1 in the NFL last year against the pass, number 2 overall. 3rd and 10. Movement. We'll check in for the first time today with our referee, Jeff Triplett.
Both start. Number 73 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Ron, one of the guys you mentioned, Gaines Adams, is a guy they're looking to get more production out of. He finished strong last year. Didn't do much in the first game. He's going to be matched up against the rookie, Sam Baker out of USC. That should be an interesting matchup. He will flip sides back and forth, playing both sides, but look forward to the matchup of the rookie against Gaines Adams.
3 sacks the last 2 games against Atlanta for Gaines Adams. 3rd and 15 after the penalty. The quick one inside, intercepted. Turnover, Buccaneers. Aqib Talib, the rookie first-round pick out of Kansas. He got beat for a long one last week. He redeems himself here.
And Ron, we talked about not making mistakes. It's just a wide receiver screen trying to make it easy for the young quarterback, Matt Ryan. He just simply overthrows the guy in the slot, misses him completely. Easy play for Talib. Not quite the start he had last week for Matt Ryan.
The first turnover of the 2008 season for the Falcons. First and 10 for Greasy. He hands it off. That's Graham. Not much there. And that Tampa Bay defense, the most interceptions in the NFL since 2000.
And that's the type of pass defense Monty Kiffin's defenses are used to playing.
And you knew that that man right there, Monty Kiffin, was going to give the rookie quarterback, Matt Ryan, a little something different to look at. But on the flip side, Atlanta not afraid to come out throwing the ball. Wide open. Greasy misses it. Intended for Alex Smith. And as we said earlier, John Gruden made the change Wednesday. He pulled out Jeff Garcia, said he didn't like the way he was playing. Didn't blame him on anything physical, even though Garcia's had a ton of injuries throughout the training camp and didn't play much. He said purely the guy just isn't himself.
Garcia looked really jumpy in the pocket last week against the Saints. Never looked comfortable for the whole game.
But the question is, Tony, does Garcia make that wide open throw? Third down and 10. Plenty of time. The dump off to Galloway. And Galloway will have the first down as he works inside the 10-yard line. Working on Shevis Jackson, 13 yards.
And Greasy does something that they complained about last week, and I mentioned it the play before, standing in the pocket, feeling comfortable, and not being pressured by the phantom rush. That happened last week. Garcia moved around a little too much. He didn't need to.
The give to Graham. Graham is turned into the starter and the workhorse for this team. Not a lot there. Jamal Anderson involved in the tackle. The defensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. Anderson, the first-round pick last year. They're waiting for him to explode. John Abraham, he always explodes against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sacked John Kitna 3 times last week. Keith Brooking, he will wear the radio device on defense for the Falcons. Second and goal. Plenty of time for Greasy. Touchdown, Bucks. John Gilmore, brought in as a free agent from the Chicago Bears this year.
Tyler Miller is going to work right here, press Grimes, and then turn back in and gets Grimes' hips turned around. Just rolls inside and uses the big body. Gilmore uses his big body, makes it very hard for the smaller Grimes to work through it. Easy pass for Greasy.
First catch of the season for Grimes. He spent the last 6 years in Chicago. 7-0 early here in the first quarter, Buccaneers.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees.
The scoring drive by Tampa Bay set up by the interception by Aqib Talib.
That's the one thing they didn't do last week, Ronnie, is make mistakes and put their defense in tough positions. You almost expect that from a young quarterback, but he didn't make it last week. Let's see if he can come back and how he rebounds now with his first bout of adversity.
And Bryant rolls this one through the end zone for a touchback. Let's go down to the third member of our crew, Michelle Turner.
Hi, guys. Yeah, you know, I spoke with Jeff Garcia right before this game, and he did confirm that he did not get benched because of injury. But then I asked him if he thought it was a little bit of a disrespect to not even be the backup, to be the third-string quarterback today. He looked at me for a minute silently, and then he said, and I quote, "That's the head man's call." Back to you guys up in the booth.
Yeah, I think we know the answer to that one.
That's code for saying, yes, I feel dissed.
Bottom line is the decision has paid off thus far as Tampa Bay goes up early. And Michael Turner averaged 10 yards per carry last week against Detroit. Not much room there. Javon Hay along with Hovan.
And this is where the Falcons are going to win or lose this game. It's on the ground. It's not going to be with the arm of Matt Ryan. No disrespect, but last week they only asked him to throw. They only asked him to throw the ball 13 times. They know they have to be able to run the ball, but here's the problem, Ron. Monty Kiffin knows that too, and he's going to try to force Matt Ryan to beat him.
One-yard gain on the previous play. Jarius Norwood, pick up a 5. Last week, talking about Michael Turner, he ran 22 times for a team record 220 yards. It was the second most rush yards in the NFL in an opening day game in history.
And for being 244 pounds, he runs like he's 220. He has the breakaway speed once he gets into the secondary.
Turner coming in as a free agent from the San Diego Chargers this year, running behind LaDainian Tomlinson the last 5 years out there. Movement early, looked like Gaines Adams went.
Offside, number 90. The defense, uninvited to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Gaines Adams is going to get caught looking at the center, Tom McClure, and he sees him raise his head. That's a sign to the rest of the offensive line to set themselves, and they usually have a count. Usually after he raises his head, you either have a 1 or a 2 count. The problem is Gaines Adams saw that motion, he had a hair trigger, and jumped off sides. The silent count's going to be big today with this loud crowd.
1st and 10. The pitch to Turner. He's looking to go downhill. Can't get there. Great play in the backfield. That's Tanard Jackson. Somehow Turner picks up 2. But Jackson, that number looks different, Tony. He was 28 last year, but then when Warrick Dunn came in this year, he said, no, I've got too much respect for Warrick Dunn. I'm going to give up the number. I'll go to 36.
If the safeties we're going to see today here are a little bit better than Detroit's, Michael Turner is going to face a higher caliber safety. So when he gets outside, it's not going to be quite as easy to run away or run over those guys.
2nd down and 8. Ryan can't quite get out of there. He pulled it down quick. Gaines Adams was there. Atlanta had opened up the first drive with 3 passes. They opened up this drive with 3 runs before that pass attempt right there. I don't think that was a design run.
Sometimes those young guys, they see a little bit of space, they take off a little early.
3rd down and 6. Buccaneers showing 1 safety deep. Man-to-man coverage. Ryan in trouble again. A marker goes down as Ryan goes down at about the 38-yard line. Barrett Ruud on the tackle.
And Matt Ryan's realizing.
Holding. Defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Boy, that's going against Rondé Barber.
And I was saying, Matt Ryan's realizing real quick, it's a little bit different in the NFL playing on the road against a top-notch defense like the Bucs. He's been under pressure. He's moving around a little bit, can't find guys open downfield. But what's happened, this is twice now on 3rd down that Tampa has bailed them out.
1st and 10, Peel in motion. Turner in the backfield, he'll get the call, bust through. There goes Michael Turner. Gets rid of 1, and he's inside the 40-yard line of the Buccaneers. Nice run. And there's some of the elusiveness people talk about from Michael Turner along with the speed.
And he just powers through. They have 8 in the box. Jermaine Phillips is the safety. It comes down within the tackle box. And no matter, and Michael Turner talked to us. He realized if they're going to bring 8 guys, he has to make somebody miss. And he made 2 guys miss there. One with a little dead leg, and the other one he ran right through an arm tackle.
17 yards for Turner. The give again to Turner. Turner with a nice gain. They'll call it 4. And this is the kind of football first-year head coach Mike Smith wants to play. The Daytona Beach native spent the last 5 years as the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville. Was on the Super Bowl team back in 2000 with Baltimore as their defensive assistant. And Tony, like I said, he talks about football and a very approachable guy, a far cry from Bobby Petrino of last year.
And he's just a real easy, personable guy you can talk to very easy, and it's an open-door policy with the players, and they believe that fact. Some coaches say it, but don't always act it out.
Trouble in the backfield. That play doomed from the start. Looked like Harvey Dahl got knocked backwards or tripped. And you could see Michael Turner had to reset before he could even get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
You know, you talking to Mike Smith yesterday, it was so refreshing. The favorite thing for me about Mike Smith is he knows what he does not know. He said something that was so interesting that he learned from Jack Del Rio, that last head coach he was with, who's a former player, of how players think, and he purposely brought ex-players on his staff to help him with that.
Quick snap. Underneath, nearly intercepted. Intended for Norwood, and Tenard Jackson looked as though he had it, but couldn't hold on. And that'll bring up 4th down.
And we talked about Monty Kiffin giving the young quarterback a lot of blitzes. They brought all 3 linebackers there. Not really any pressure, but sometimes when you start feeling it and you see the blitz, you anticipate getting hit, and you never set your feet, and that's what happened there with Matt. He did not set his feet, anticipating to get hit, and overthrew the guy. Second time in a row, almost led to another interception.
Michael Kanan back deep to punt. This is Ike Hilliard. Hilliard with the fair catch at the 10-yard line, and that's where Greasy and the Bucs will take over. 7-0 Tampa Bay.
The Cubs' run to the postseason heats up when they face the Cardinals. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball. Check for the game in your area.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
There's a look at John Abraham. He is off the field right now as the Falcons rotate their second defensive line in, but we talked about the success he has had against the Buccaneers, and just really has played pretty solid the last couple years. 13 sacks in the last 16 games.
And one of the more dominating players at his position, and feels like much fresher this year because of the system they have under Mike Smith of rotating defensive linemen.
Warwick Dunn in the backfield. He'll take the handoff. Pressure in the backfield, and that's a loss. And one of the games within the game that we're going to watch today is defensive end John Abraham.
Yeah,
they will flop him.
Yeah, we do this every week. We're looking at some of the best pass rushers against the top offensive linemen. And last week, John Abraham had a field day. But he's going to go against one of the better young offensive tackles in Donald Penn most of the time. I think Donald Penn has excellent feet. He's an excellent pass blocker. And then the other guy, Jeremy Trueblood, you can see him against Grant here from New Orleans. He's a mauler, big, strong guy that'll get after him.
And an attempted pass play to Warwick Dunn fell incomplete. So that'll bring up 3rd down. The Buccaneers talked about playing fast, and they got that play off quick. Abraham checks back in, 3rd and long. Complete to Hilliard, and that is the 3rd down guy. It looks to be a 1st down. Let's see where they mark it. I believe it is. The leading receiver last year, and very big on 3rd downs.
Yeah, all he does is catch the ball. When it's 3rd down, if I was Atlanta, I'd double him. 62% of the time, every catch he makes is a 1st down. This guy is Mr. Go-To. He's not the fastest, not the most elusive. He's just in the right place at the right time.
Technically, as he gets 13 there, he lost the starting job to Antonio Bryant. But as long as he makes catches like that, he will be on the field a lot. That's done inside for a couple.
Especially on 3rd down.
Right. Yeah. You think?
It was funny talking to John Gruden. He, talks about all these receivers and all these guys. Then he gets to Ike Hilliard. And he said what I just said. Oh, he's not the fastest, can't catch, whatever else. I mean, do all these things. But he just catches the ball on third down and makes plays.
A pickup of one. The Bucs in a no-huddle situation.
Greasy said he liked to hurry it up in no huddle to get the guys in the right place.
Boy, and I tell you what, the Falcons have come to play up front.
Yeah, he might like the no huddle like we talked about. He told us that to get them in the right place, but he picked the wrong play there. Atlanta had that figured out from the start. Babineau and Kendall Moorhead just stuffing up front, and then Corey Bierman in for John Abraham just beats Donald Penn around the corner. And so Greasy talks about liking the no huddle because he wants to direct traffic and hurry up and get up tempo, but you better pick the right play.
The Falcons finished 26th in the NFL last year out of 32 teams. They definitely wanted to pick that up. 3rd and 11. The slant inside will be well short of the first down, caught by Michael Clayton, but it's not even close, and that'll bring on the punt team for Tampa Bay.
I would have looked for Ike Hilliard if I was Greasy. He usually catches the first down when it's third down. Good job by Atlanta, getting them off the field. A little bit of shock and awe at the beginning of the game with the turnover and the quick score. And
right.
A young team, which Atlanta is, can get out of sorts and lose control of the game quickly. But Mike Smith has kept his guys in it, and this is still very tight.
Bidwell at the 10-yard line. A little pressure. Play is stopped. We've got early movement. Caught by the line judge.
False start, number 21 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's Savvy Piscatelli, backup safety. You get nervous out there when you're a gunner, Tony, and you know 2 guys are going to ring your bell all the way down.
Well, I don't know if it's nervous. You want to cheat a little bit. You need double team, trying to find a way to get around.
Get the jump is what you're saying, right? Adam Jennings, a nice high kick there by Bidwell. Jennings at the 25, and gets waxed at about the 28-yard line. 56-yard punt, 6 yards on the return.
Some good thinking went into this car. Driver airbag, passenger airbag, seat-mounted side airbags. And while Ford has more 5-star crash test ratings than anyone, we go way beyond just testing for stars. We're doing testing right now in what's called the Vertex. It's a simulator that looks at how people behave when they drive. There's no 5-star test for that, but we're not trying to reduce injuries to dummies. We're trying to reduce injuries to people. I'm Dr. Steve Rohanna, and this is the Ford Edge. Drive one.
When it comes to these streets, he's the law.
New neighbors out here, looks like.
But in Lakeview Terrace,
Your outside lights are shining right into our upstairs. We gotta figure out a way to deal with this.
Or what?
he's above the law.
You broke into our house.
Do you have any proof?
Get off my property.
Don't call the cops. I'll tell you who's on duty.
Lakeview Terrace, rated PG-13, opens Friday.
Hey, Mr. Sunlight, gonna outshine your bright. It's just the beginning of a happy go fun day. Happy go fun day. And I'm feeling kinda Sunday. Sunday. Feeling kinda Sunday. Sunday. Feeling kinda Sunday.
I'm so there.
When you're there, State Farm's there for the best day of the week.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Drive one. By CareerBuilder.com. Start building. And by Burger King. Have it your way.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the pennant race continues to heat up as the Twins take on the Rays in a possible playoff preview. Or the Cardinals take on the NL Central leading Cubs in a showdown between 2 of baseball's most bitter rivals. Fox Saturday Baseball, game of the week, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, right here and only here on Fox. And a quick look at your AL leaders. Tampa Bay, a little bit of a surprise to a lot of people.
One of
with the lead over the White Sox.
Yeah, one of the smallest payrolls in all of baseball. I think A-Rod and Derek Jeter make more than the whole Tampa Bay Rays team.
Split 1-for-1 last night against the Yankees. trying to make that push. Not a lot going on there. Intense defense. Michael Turner, Jermaine Phillips is there. No yards on the play. And talk about maybe protecting the rookie quarterback. The first drive, 3 pass plays and an interception that led to a touchdown. Second drive out, a little bit different story.
Yeah, I don't like coming out with the 3 pass plays with a young quarterback when your bread and butter, and everybody knows it, is Michael Turner. I mean, that's what, you know, let's not fool anybody. You're not going to fool Monty Kiffin. You're not going to fool anyone us up here. You have to run the ball to win.
You saw a shot there.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You saw a shot there of Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator. Penalty against Atlanta.
Yeah,
too many men on the field.
12 guys in the huddle. It's a substitution rule. You cannot do that. You can't linger around. And they made that rule so you couldn't fool the defense and the defensive coordinators with personnel packages.
Waiting till the last minute to sub your people in, trying to confuse opposing defenses. Second and long. Quick slant, more of a stop route, incomplete. The ball beat Buddy White up.
And that's something he did not do last year. Really had a breakout year. Over 1,000 yards, was their go-to #1 receiver and still is. Just looks away. He's trying to make a play on Philip Buchanan before the ball gets there and seeing if he can make Buchanan miss to get the first down. Cardinal rule when you're a receiver, catch it first.
Working on Buchanan, who had an interception for a return for a touchdown last week against the Saints. 3rd and 15, draw, Norwood dancing. Not going to get there. Well short of the first. And that'll bring on the punt team for Atlanta.
You know, punting isn't always a bad thing when you have a young team and a young quarterback. Punting can be winning football. Keep the field position. Atlanta has a lot of confidence in their defense. Feels like they played very well last week. And just let's keep this game close as long as possible and play the field position game.
Canaan will punt away to Dexter Jackson, the native of Dunwoody, Georgia. He danced a little bit too much last week. I think they're trying to get him to run in straight lines. That one falls short. And it's down at about the 35-yard line. Still 7-zip. Tampa Bay, and we're going to stay because we have a flag down back up field at the 30-yard line. Jeff Triplett signaling.
Illegal formation. Kicking team, number 54, not up on the line of scrimmage. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down.
They'll tack it on to the end of the kick. Buccaneer ball when we come back. One of the Falcons' run stoppers, Grady Jackson, not active today. He was released 7 games into the 2007 season. Nobody was really quite sure why. Jason Jefferson getting his first start, subbing in for Jackson today.
False start, 80-80 offense, 5-yard penalty.
That's movement against John Gilmore.
And talking about Grady Jackson, I think that's going to hurt this Atlanta Falcons team throughout the day with a big back like Ernest Graham, a physical guy. Watching the film of Grady Jackson against Detroit, he was one of the big reasons Detroit could not run the ball. He was dominant, just playing in the backfield of the Detroit Lions. And Jason Jefferson is going to take his spot number 99 today.
1st and 15 after the penalty. And somehow that ball is caught by Joey Galloway, working on Chris Houston. A pickup of 6. And Grady Jackson was out during the pregame warm-up, sweating it out a little bit. But thus far, it really hasn't meant much for Tampa Bay because they have negative 2 yards rushing. So Jason Jefferson has done a pretty good job. Going deep, looking for Galloway, it's not there. Coleman running step for step with Joey Galloway.
Joey Galloway is just going to run straight up the field and say, I'm faster than everybody else. I'm going to run by you. And now it's just the timing. Can Greasy match it up with Galloway? But he runs right by the corners, the safeties, everybody else. Still one of the fastest guys in the league.
He comes out for a break, 3rd and 9. Pressure by the Falcons. Gets there late. It's caught. That's Hilliard. Where do they mark it? Looks as though they mark it right at the marker. Working on Shevis Jackson.
One of the matchups we talked about, Abraham going against Donald Penn. Donald Penn does a good job, but Lawyer Malloy works right off the inside move with John Abraham. No one there to pick it up, but Greasy shows great courage. I'm not sure Garcia stays in there because he likes to run around, and running around might not be able to make that throw. Greasy is a pocket passer, hung in there to the last moment.
Ernest Graham, and I'll tell you what, when Graham gets going, he can make any quarterback look good. Nearly broke that one, Brent Grimes on the tackle.
It was interesting talking to Ernest. He told us that he does not understand why a running back would ever lose a yard or not gain a yard. He says he expects 3 to 5 yards every time, and if you watch him, he is always falling forward after he gets hit.
A little bit of a funky formation there. They shifted back. Pressure inside, a great blitz pickup up front, a quick throw outside. And that was Ernest Graham with that block.
This is an Olympic move. I think he got a 10. Watch him go up, does a flip, doesn't quite land it real well, but what a play. Great job by, I'm not sure what tailback that was for the Bucs, but did a great job. I believe it was Ernest Graham. One of the best blitz pickup guys there are. Did a great job of going low and flipping John Abraham.
That's the end of the first quarter. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Boy, here at Fox, you never know who you're going to bump into on the sidelines. There's the greatest golfer that ever lived, Tiger Woods. He's from nearby Orlando, Florida. Just stopped to check out the game. You know, he was up here by the booth before the game started. I think we just walked right by him. He had the hat on and the shades. Very incognito, recovering from a knee surgery. Very swinging away. That's Hilliard. And a first down. A quick look at the first quarter numbers as we just start the second quarter.
And here's the one. That one turnover is the reason it's a 7-0 game. Besides that, fairly even. Obviously, besides the pass yards, Atlanta having 0 success through the air right now with Matt Ryan. But really a back-and-forth game besides the one big turnover.
Graham. Not a lot. Anderson is there. He got 4. Brian Greasy, back in 2005, began the season as the Bucs starter. Opened up well, opened up 5-1. Suffered that season-ending knee injury in Game 6, and that was it. But he talked about always wanting to come back here and finish the job. He felt like this was a perfect place within the perfect offense. He's always played well in John Gruden's system, and he wanted to come back and take care of the unfinished business. And he's got it right now. Play action, 2nd and 6. The outside throw, it's complete, and then some. The tight end, Alex Smith. Greasy, the longtime vet, spent the last 2 years in Chicago, 2006, 2007. Was here at the Bucs in 05 and 2004. Had that one very brief cup of coffee in Miami, as they like to say, and then, of course, came into the league with the Denver Broncos. First and 10 after the pass play to Smith. Whoa. That one nearly intercepted. Brent Grimes was driving on it. Pressure by Lofton. And a look at Greasy this drive. Of course, started off with the early help, the interception.
And Ron, so far it looks like John Gruden has made the right move. I got to say, after watching film and watching so far at the beginning of this game, the offense, especially the pass offense, looks much better with Greasy at the helm.
Greasy 5 of 6 on this drive, 2nd and 10.
And this is something he really likes doing, audibilizing and changing the package.
2nd and 10 throw, inside, knocked away. Nice play again, Grimes. intended for Gilmore. Brent Grimes, a replacement for D'Angelo Hall, who went to Oakland. First-year player out of Shippensburg.
And Brent Grimes, not the biggest guy, only 5'10", had to battle Roy Williams and Calvin Johnson last week and did an outstanding job. Refused to back down, and you can see the fight he has in him. Won't back down from anybody.
It was actually intended for Antonio Bryant. 3rd and 10. Shovel. There it is. A hit, but a first down. Warwick Dunn. And Dunn getting the applause here by the home crowd as he makes his return back to Tampa Bay. 13 yards and a first.
And this is why they brought Warwick Dunn back. A great change of pace guy. Good job, good back on 3rd down, and they just run the traditional little shuffle pass, pull in the guard, Sears, the left guard, bring it up the middle. Huge hole.
1st and goal. High formation, toss. Graham looking for the end zone, and he's got it. A marker is down at the 11-yard line. Could go against the Bucs.
Holding, number 35 on the offense.
Yep.
10-yard penalty, still first down.
Out the touchdown. B.J. Askew, the fullback, gets popped for the hold.
B.J. Askew is going to lead block and meet Lloyd Moore right here and actually tackles him, allowing Ernest Graham to get the corner. Right there you can see the tackle. That's why Ernest could outflank the Falcons defense. But boy, look at the power, Ernest Graham. One of the best yard after contact guys I've ever seen. I mean, he is so powerful.
Put a little flavor on Eric Coleman there at the goal line. They back it up, do it again. And now Graham can't hold on. Ball a little bit behind, but he had 2 hands on it.
And not like him. One of the best pass receiving backs there are around the league. Something that John Gruden loves about the guy. He's an every down back. Very physical on 1st and 2nd down. Can do all the blitz pickup you want, and then has good hands out of the backfield.
Took over as a starter in the 6th game of last season after injuries to Cadillac Williams, who's still out, and Michael Pittman. 2nd and goal. Movement up front.
Both start. Number 76, the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Well, Bucs self-destructing here. First, the holding penalty that wipes out the touchdown. Now Jeremy Zuda, the rookie right guard, subbing for Davin Joseph. He gets called for moving early. And you can see the penalty count there.
And this is where you want to get something where you can get up maybe half the yards. Don't try to get it all back at once.
Dunn working against his old team, fights inside for a couple. The rookie Curtis Lofton, 2nd-round pick out of Oklahoma with the initial hit. A good pickup, though, pickup of 6. You're looking at a 3rd down.
You don't like to hear 3rd and goal from the 17. Maybe the 7, but not the 17.
John Gruden, you can see him giving people an earful. Graham and Dunn in the backfield together. Joey Galloway up top. Ike Hilliard in the slot along with Bryant. Inside handoff. That's Dunn. Dunn picking his way. Dunn can make this work. He loses the ball, but he's in for the touchdown.
I guess that's what you call on 3rd and goal from the 17. Warwick Dunn's just going to move in here and make about 15 people miss. I know there's only 11 players on the field, but he made everyone miss, including the officials. I mean, he's just squirting around in there, being patient. Shows that he still has great feet, great vision. 3rd and 17, that's deflating if you're the Falcons because you don't expect to give up a touchdown in that occasion.
So Dunn with his first touchdown this season as Bryant puts it through. Spent the last 6 years with the Atlanta Falcons, but comes home and says it's good to be back. The 3-time Pro Bowl selection, Warrick Dunn, the only active running back in the league to have recorded over 10,000 yards rushing and 4,000 yards receiving. He continues to be that all-purpose guy.
I don't think 17-yard runs get any more exciting than the one Warrick Dunn just gave us.
And what about that drive, Tony? 14-play drive with all the penalties. That took a little bit of water out of the Atlanta Falcons defense. Norwood tripped up at about the 15, rolls out to about the 23-yard line. It's all Bucs early here in Tampa.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by KFC's new original recipe strips. Life tastes better with KFC. By Samsung HD TV, a new generation of TV. By Dodge, introducing the all-new Dodge Journey. If you can dream it, do it. Dodge, grab life. And by Miller Lite. When it's game time, reach for the original Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling.
A little bit of everything down here in Florida. Started off beautiful this morning. Then the rain hit around kickoff. Clouding up again.
It was so hot during pregame. I was dying down there.
And it looks awful cloudy for Matt Ryan and the Falcons early here. 8 men in the box. They're expecting run. They get past. That one's a little high. Let's go down to Nichelle Turner.
Hey, you guys were dying. Look at me. I don't mean to be too much of a girl, but all you have to do is look at my hair to tell what kind of weather we've been having. Now, when the game kicked off, it was 117 degrees down here on the field. It's hovering about 90 right now, but that's because we've had these rain showers and cloud covers, and I don't know when this mess is going to end. Jillian Reynolds didn't say this today. Back up to you guys.
Can you say heat index? 2nd and 10. Fake the draw, nowhere to go. Wide open, but it's late. He had Harry Douglas, the rookie, wide open, but he didn't pull the trigger in time, and it gave Phillip Buchanan enough time to get over and make the play.
And this Falcon offensive line did a great job. You can see the rookie Sam Baker working against Gaines Adams, shuts him out. Plenty of room in there. Had time to step up, but you said it perfectly. He had a guy open, Harry Douglas, running down the middle of the field. He has to recognize it quicker. But that's what happened when you're a young quarterback. The decision-making process sometimes is a little slow.
Ryan 0 for 7 and a pick. Welcome to the NFL. Now it's 3rd and 10, and they're going to be coming. Interception. Savvy Piscatelli. Matt Ryan finding out he's not playing against the Detroit Lions this week.
Pressure's going to come off his left. Hit him right in the back as he's throwing. And just throws right behind Jenkins, the receiver. Greg White hit him right as he gets ready to throw. And it looked like he was playing catch with Savvy Piscatelli. Listen, as a young quarterback, it was easy last week. Everything went your way. Now the tide has turned, and it'll be interesting how he reacts to the momentum going against him. Can he recover and help bring his team back?
First career interception for Piscatelli. Second year man out of Oregon State. Much. Lawyer Malloy on the tackle, and you had to know that Monty Kiffin, 26 total years of NFL experience, 13 years with the Buck. A lot of people call him the master of the modern day cover 2, if you will, Tampa 2 at least. He was not going to let Matt Ryan come down here and shoot him out.
No, absolutely not. And Matt Ryan's helping him with some bad throws. Overthrowing guys, throwing behind guys. And he's had a little bit of pressure on that, but for the most part, he's been cleaning the pocket.
2nd and 8. A quick dump off. Askew, not a lot. Let's go to Los Angeles, our first game break of the day. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, guys, the great Monty Kiffin would like this. Seattle's defense coming up with points. Frank Gore coughs it up and followed the bouncing ball. Fred Terrell takes it in for the score. It was just that simple. 14-3, Seattle on top in the second quarter. Ron, Tony, and the show.
You want to lose a game fast, just have turnovers on the road.
Well, not only that, but Seattle had to have the defense to score. They're down to like their 10th receiver with everyone else hurt.
Third down and 8. A crosser, and it's behind. Now that's the same thing that John Gruden complained about with Jeff Garcia last week. Missing some guys that time. He misses Antonio Bryant. And that'll bring on the punt team.
And this is what the defense needs to do for the Atlanta Falcons. Jonathan Babineau working against Aaron Sears just beats him right. Great little arm over move. They need to pressure Greasy, try to get some turnovers, hopefully try to score themselves and try to keep them in this game.
Forget the punt, they'll make it a field goal. 33 yards out. Bryant a little shaky in the preseason. He says he's corrected all the problems and he looks good there. And so do the Buccaneers, 17-zip. And Matt Ryan today has struggled. A couple different looks by the Bucs. A couple bad throws. They came out throwing it. Tony, I know you didn't agree with that right off the top, but then they tried to settle him down running it, went back to the throw, and it didn't matter. And
Ron, you're being nice. Struggle. 0 completions.
Yeah.
2 picks. 10 points off the 2 interceptions. You're being struggling is being kind.
Norwood with a hole. And Norwood with a nice return out to the 32-yard line as a marker goes down at the 20-yard line.
And they need a big play from Norwood on special teams. Someone to break a play. This is where you need Michael Turner to break a play or something big to happen.
Number 44 in the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So he'll start in an even bigger hole, 17-0 Buccaneers. A quick look at Matt Ryan last week to this week. And the scary part about that, Tony, this week isn't over yet. First and 10 at the 10. Turner in trouble. Not much. Kevin Carter there. Well, this Tuesday at 8/7 Central, America's favorite doctor is back. The Emmy-nominated House returns with an all-new season premiere at a new time. Tuesday at 8/7 Central, right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Hugh Laurie, he is outstanding. I like his attitude. You know, he's just kind of got that quirky kind of behavior.
He knows everything. He doesn't really hold back. He kind of shares what's on his mind all the time.
Good, bad, or indifferent. No yards on the play. 2nd and 10. The toss. Norwood looking to use that speed. Not much. And look at Derek Brooks over there. We didn't even know if he could make it today, but Derek Brooks has hung in there and made some nice plays.
It's not good when you're almost midway through the second quarter and you have not completed a pass and you have 0 passing yards if you're the Falcons. And the number that stood out to me as you looked at Matt Ryan, already having 8 attempts. He only had 13 all of last week, and that's because the Falcons cannot get the run going at all. Monty Kiffin told us they're going to stop it. Ronnie Barber said they're going to make Matt Ryan beaten, and right now he cannot do it.
He threw a pick in this situation the last series. 3rd and 7. Going for the deep ball, and it's not there. They could have called holding on Roddy White if they wanted to, but they didn't. It's a 3 and out, and that'll bring on the punt team.
Roddy White working against Phillip Buchanan. Gets off the ball good. Looks like he has him. And that's miscommunication. He just stops. He had Phillip Buchanan beat. It looked like from here he got help, but he didn't. He stopped his feet. Not on the same page with the rookie.
Kanan will punt away to Dexter Jackson. Tough punt to catch. Jackson makes the catch. Next time he might want to let that one go. 7:29 here in the second quarter. Tampa Bay up 17-0. John Gruden, Tampa Bay Buccaneer head coach, and as we said earlier, he made that move on Wednesday, putting Garcia down and going straight to Greasy. He's always liked having the vets around, and he didn't hesitate.
And he took a lot of heat for it here in the local media. People thought he was crazy, but so far, it's playing out right for him.
Outside, wide open. No catch. It hit the ground, intended for Alex Smith. And of course, Garcia had gone through it. As you look at the replay here.
Someone is in the wrong place, whether it's Lawyer Malloy or the safety. One playing man because you saw the corner running with the receiver, vacating the area where he would be if it was zone, and Lawyer Malloy mixed up. No way a tight end should be that wide open.
Well, we're going to find out what a laser is. Don't take notes on that play.
Yeah, I'm not sure Alex Smith knows what laser is, or he thought laser was one thing and Brian Greasy thought it was something else, because as bad as the coverage was on the last play by Atlanta, the execution on offense was that bad for Tampa Bay on that play. Just thrown 10 yards behind Alex Smith, and you would think after an audible, everyone would know what's going on.
The third drive today for Tampa Bay, starting in Atlanta territory. They've had good field position. This is a 3rd and 10. Plenty of time for Greasy. That's going to be overthrown. Laid it up nicely there for Antonio Bryant, but just a little ahead. And that'll bring on the punt team.
A missed opportunity because Brent Grimes slipped.
You see that? He said, come on, Brian.
Yeah, he realized it was a missed opportunity as well. Sitting on the sidelines right there, Brent Grimes slipped right in front of John Gruden, and he figures home run, touchdown. And Greasy missed it by quite a bit.
He was saying the same thing last week, but it was, come on, Jeff.
They're always yelling at somebody.
Bidwell to punt it away. Jennings with the fair catch at about the 13-yard line. 36-yard punt. No return. Next week, right here on Fox, the Buccaneers will take on the Bears, or the Panthers take on the Vikings, or the Saints will battle the Broncos. The Saints without Marcus Colston. And we keep talking about how important it is for the Buccaneers to not go down 0-2 in the division, having to go up and face the Chicago Bears next week. And the first 5 possessions for the Atlanta Falcons, dismal at best.
That's not how you want to start the game. The 2 interceptions really what has killed them, led to the 10 points for the Buccaneers.
So Matt Ryan in an old familiar position, backed up inside the 15-yard line. Turner, nowhere to go for Turner. Cato June is there. And some of the early game scores, the Giants all over the St. Louis Rams. Could be an early departure there for the head coach down in St. Louis.
And Buccaneers got good news with the Saints losing up against Washington Redskins. If they win today, they can be right in it. However, Carolina, with Jake Delhomme in that rebuild elbow, is now 2-0, getting a big win against Chicago. So the AFC South is going to be a tight race, as it is every year. And right there we see the first-round pick out of USC, Sam Baker, getting a little bit of help by the Falcon trainers.
We'll check on Baker when we come back. And a recap today, the early interception, Aqib Talib, that led to a quick touchdown. 5-yard reception there by Gilmore. Warwick Dunn got into it later on with a touchdown run and more interceptions. Piscatelli, that led to the Matt Bryant 33-yard field goal. Thus we are at 17-0. here in the first half. And they are working on Baker there. Todd Weiner, the 11-year vet, comes in to replace Sam Baker. Second down and 10. Ryan inside. This is complete. That's Roddy White. And that's Ryan's first completion. And he's got to be saying finally.
Ron, this is the play that Sam Baker, left tackle out of USC, the rookie first rounder, he was in on, in which he was injured. Can't really tell from that if it was a leg injury, arm, what. They're still working on him on the Falcon bench.
3rd and 1. The end around, Harry Douglas. Douglas is going. Douglas, the speedster, down to the Bucs' 45-yard line, driven out by Tanar Jackson. Douglas, the 3rd-round pick out of Louisville, comes up with what I call the first big play for the Falcons.
Great design play. They're going to have Jenkins and Weiner both go outside, block down with the 2 receivers, and really seal the Tampa Bay defense and let Harry Douglas get outside. Now the Falcons are going to hurry up, much like the Bucs did earlier in the game.
33 yards for Douglas. Turner. He's got some blockers in front, trying to turn the corner.
Michael Turner on the run.
Almost got it to leave on the tackle.
Now that's a little surprising to see the Falcons go hurry up with a rookie quarterback. Trying to change up the pace of the game a little bit, get in and out, get up on the ball, see if they can get Tampa Bay on their heels. Mike Mularkey is known for his trick plays and changing things up on the defense.
A pickup of 6. Second down and 4. Plenty of time on the play clock for the audible. Turner. Maybe a couple. They call it 1. Gaines Adams on the tackle. Mike Mularkey, the Falcons offensive coordinator. You might remember him as a former Buffalo Bills head coach, short tenure up there, and the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They like to call him Inspector Gadget because he's got a little trickeration up his sleeve. Saw it a few plays ago with the 3rd and 3. Pressure outside, going deep. Well covered. Philip Buchanan is all over it. Michael Jenkins didn't have a shot.
A little surprised they took a shot deep on a 3rd and short like that.
Agree.
Trying to keep, I mean, you've got something going. You've got a little bit of a rhythm. You've changed it up, had the big trick play. You got a little no huddle going. I'd like to see him try to get something a little easier to see if they can stay on the field and keep their defense off the field.
So Kanan will try to kill it inside the 10. Hilliard, fair catch. He secures it at about the 8. Let's go down to Nichelle Turner.
Hi there, guys. Yeah, we've got some information on Sam Baker here that he was shaken up on that play. They're trying to figure out if he was hitting the head or the face area. He is questionable for his return. Back to you.
All right, as we said, Todd Weiner has come in to replace him. We'll keep an eye on him. Doesn't look like, as Michelle said, he's going to be coming in anytime soon.
Yeah, he was a little, obviously Days got hit in the head at some point as he was trying to block down and trying to get the cobwebs out right now and trying to figure out exactly, you know, what's going on and where he is.
Now an opportunity for Atlanta's defense, and I agree with you, Tony. I don't know if that's the call, 3rd and 1, but Buccaneers go to the run game, and I guess that's what Graham was talking about. I don't understand why a guy should ever fall or settle for a loss on a run play, because he doesn't very often.
He is remarkable. I was watching film on him last week. Never once did the first guy bring him down. The first guy would hit him, it was 3 yards more. First guy, the balance and the size and the power this guy has. It's amazing that he was sitting on the bench backing up for so long. And it took injuries for him to show everybody what a great back he is.
Second down and 5. Boy, he's trying to get out of that one. Not much there. Brooking is there.
You know, one guy, excuse me, Ron, sorry, one guy who did not miss how good of player Ernest Graham wasn't this Gruden, but John Gruden's dad, who was a running back for 16 years, and John Gruden told us the other day that he had a conversation a couple years ago with his dad, and after his dad watched Ernest Graham play, he says, son, you might have an Emmitt Smith type player back there. And Gruden said, you're crazy. And now he looks back and says, boy, Dad was right again.
His dad coached running backs for those years, and you got to believe he knows what he's looking at. 3rd and 4. The throw outside and a hit on time. Intended to Dunn. But a nice play there by Lawyer Malloy, the 13-year vet who had a big interception last week. That's a 3-and-out. And Atlanta will have another chance to score here before the half.
Big time possession by that Falcon defense. 3-and-out, like you said, kept them backed up, and they're going to give Matt Ryan, this offense, a chance to do something with good field position before the end of the half. That's what they needed out of the defense.
So Bidwell standing at about the 2-yard line will kick away to Jennings. And they're going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning. And that is the 2-minute warning here in Tampa. 17-0 Tampa Bay.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
We are under the 2-minute warning here in Tampa. Don't forget the Visa halftime report coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, along with Michael. The latest scores and highlights from around the NFL, plus the Fox Sports ticker with the up to the second stats. Bidwell punts it away at about the 6. Not a great kick, a line driver. Jennings should have some room. He does. Jennings turns the corner, avoids a man. There goes Adam Jennings. Jennings with a very nice return. No markers are down as he's inside the Buccaneer 25-yard line.
Great job by the Falcon return team. Sets a wall right here. Steven Nichols does a good job with the big block that allows Adam Jennings to get outside, and the rest is his speed and elusiveness. That's what the Falcons needed, Ronnie. Let's see if Matt Ryan can take advantage of the short field and get some points on the board going into halftime.
37-yard return. Now an excellent opportunity for Matt Ryan. 1:46 here in the first half. Both teams with 3 timeouts. Norwood in motion. Norwood inside, a good gain, at least 9. Clock running. Buchanan on the tackle.
And Matt Ryan's doing a good job of keeping his composure. They have plenty of time on the clock, 1:30. They're at point their time right now. They don't want to leave too much time on the clock for Brian Griese and the Buccaneers. This is where, if you're on the sidelines, Mike Milwaukee's talking, saying, hey, listen, he's on the booth talking to the guy talking to Matt Ryan. Take your time in this situation.
Officially, it's 8. 2nd and 2. Ryan in trouble, throws that one. That's a live ball. And luckily, it rolls out of bounds.
I don't think that's the composure they were talking about from the sidelines.
Backward pass out of bounds.
All the positive yards they gained on the last one are lost with that. And there was nobody really around him. He did not need to panic. The offensive line did a good job. It's almost like the mental clock went off in his head, and he's thinking, I should be getting hit right now. I know I have to get rid of the ball.
And they're very slow to get out of the huddle here, Tony. They lose yardage on that backwards pass, but the clock now at 45 seconds. 3rd and 13. Inside the heater, and it's complete to Roddy White. And a timeout's called.
Timeout. Atlanta. Their first. It's a 30-second timeout.
Roddy White working against Philip Buchanan, just going to run a deep in route. And Matt Ryan throws a strike.
Well, Tony, we saw that on film. The kid can throw the heater, as we say, over the middle of the field, the deep dig routes, which is the in route inside the hash marks or the numbers. And it's good to have a big, tall guy that can do that.
And we looked at him yesterday, and he's not the biggest guy, upper body. I mean, I don't want to say slight, but you look at him. We had the conversation.
You're right, yeah.
We had the conversation. How does this guy get so much velocity on his throws?
Yeah.
And you can see right there, he can make all the throws. That deep in route was right on the numbers of Roddy White.
36 seconds left. They've got 2 timeouts left. First and goal. Ryan looking. Pressure. Throws it away. Jovan Hay was in pursuit. That's actually a good play.
I was going to say, Ron, you took the words out of my mouth. Nobody is open down the field. They had great coverage in the Buccaneers secondary. Roddy White again working against Philip Buchanan. Buchanan does a great job of covering up. You can see everyone working their scramble drills. That means go to an open spot when the quarterback breaks contained. And Matt Ryan did the smart thing. Listen, you have plenty of time on the clock. There's 29 seconds. Time to run at least 3 more plays. Throw this one away. Come back to fight another day.
Second and goal. White in motion. Pressure. Set. Gains Adams.
We talked about Gaines Adams needing to have a big day. He's working from the left end position against Tyson Claybo. Beats him right off the ball, and then beats Jason Snelling, the fullback, as well. That's why they drafted him in the top 10. A guy who beats 2 blocks, and that's the production they expect out of Gaines Adams. They saw it late last year. They didn't get it last week against New Orleans, and he was as hard on himself as anybody else. He says, listen, I got to play better.
Under a lot of pressure to have a breakout year as you look at Sam Baker walking off the field. Adams, originally a first-round pick, number 4 overall last year out of Clemson, had 6 sacks. Like you said, Tony, he came on late, but they need him to come on like right now. And in that fashion.
Matt Ryan's been under all kinds of pressure today. That was the first sack, but he's been hit several times.
First sack of the year by Adams. 23 seconds left. Ryan in trouble. Back of the end zone. And that one's high. Intended for White. 17 seconds left, and they'll bring on Jason Elam and the field goal unit.
And getting points in this situation is a victory.
Yeah.
It's a positive note you can go into halftime, something Mike Smith and the coaches can build on.
Elam has been bothered by a bad hip. He's been working his way through it. I saw him in pregame warm-up, Tony.
Tampa Bay, they're first.
As Tampa Bay calls
30-second timeout.
Trying to ice Jason Elam.
I don't know if you can ice Jason
I was going to say, he's been around for like 150 years.
15-year vet.
Oh. Close to 150 years.
Just brought in as a free agent from the Denver Broncos. He's made 17 consecutive field goals. He's got 38 career field goals of 50-plus yards, including a 63-yard field goal versus Jacksonville back in '98. Were you on the field for that one?
Yes.
I thought you might have been.
Thanks for reminding me.
I'm just sorry, bud. And earlier today, Elam, as we said, he's got that sore hip. But good from 55 yards there. 32 yards out. And like we said, icing Elam is a waste of water.
Yeah. Waste of time. Jason Elam and I were roommates together on an All-American team before my sophomore year and before his senior year. That's how old he is.
But you're getting younger every day, right?
Oh, yeah, I feel great.
Don't forget the piece of halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. The scores and highlights, plus the Fox Sports ticker coming up in about 12 seconds. Boy, I love some of the conversation those guys have every morning there, every Sunday morning.
It was great today. They were giving Michael Strahan a hard time about picking the Dallas Cowboys, and T.O. made a little shirt for him and it said, "I'm a giant sellout" on the back. So
yeah, but I love what Michael said. He said, where was that shirt last year when we wiped them up in the playoffs? Good point by you.
Yeah, I think Michael Strahan will take the ring, and T.O. can keep the T-shirt.
Michael has earned the right to say whatever he wants right about now. So 12 seconds left. And as you talked about, Tony, the Falcons had to get on the board here Down 17 zip before that field goal by Elam. And a rough start for Matt Ryan.
But plenty of football left. Going down by 2 scores. It's a 2-possession game. The Atlanta Falcons have something to build on and can come out strong in the second half.
So Elam, who just made his 18th field goal in a row, will kick this one away, and they'll settle for the touchback.
And you know why else that was an important field goal? Because now you can come out and you can run your game plan. Mike Smith, Mike Malarkey, they want to come out and just run the ball, throw the ball. They don't want to panic. It's not time to go 2-minute and try to get it all back at once. You can stay in the rhythm of the game. Your defense is playing very well. 2 of the scores have come on short fields. And so they're going to hang in there. And this is where, if you're Mike Malarkey, you just let's stick to our game plan. Let's run the ball. Let's be physical. Mix in the pass there a little bit, and we can get back in this game.
So they'll run this out. And that's how they'll go in at half. Tampa Bay up 17-3.
Fans at this time, please turn your attention.
Don't forget the Visa halftime report
At the end
coming
of the
your
first
way.
half.
They'll have all the scores and highlights and the Fox Sports ticker. It's halftime here in Tampa with the score. Tampa Bay 17, Atlanta 3. Well, in the aftermath of Hurricane Ike, there is a tremendous need to help the victims in the Gulf Coast region. 2 organizations are there in full force, the Red Cross and the Children's Health Fund. To donate, go to childrenshealthfund.org or text the word GIVE to 24357 to donate $5 to the Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. We'll be back with second half action after this short break from your local Fox station.
Oh.
17-3 Tampa Bay. We are at the half here in Tampa Bay. Ron Pitts, along with my partner, Tony Baselli. Good to see you guys. And Tony, we've already pounded Matt Ryan enough. Let's move away from that and look at another side of it. They're lucky it's only 17-3 because it could be a lot worse.
And 10 of those points are after turnovers with short fields. Listen, Tampa Bay is not lighting up the offensive side of the ball. Greasy's done some things good, but has missed a couple wide open guys. Antonio Bryant running down the sideline uncovered. So there's some work to do on the Tampa Bay side of the ball, which gives you hope if you're the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, if we can just get some drives going, we can get right back in this.
So we'll get things going here in the second half. That's Dexter Jackson. Jackson chopped down quickly. Ball is loose. Let's see what they call it. Looks like they're calling it down. Jason Snelling, the backup fullback, comes down with a big hit. Let's go down to Michelle Turner.
Both coaches at halftime. Coach Mike Smith told me that his team, the Falcons, have got to stop giving them chances on third down and quit giving them a short field. Turn this game around positively, that they got some points at the end of the half. Coach John Gruden, on the other hand, said he was sort of happy with the way things went. He said they did leave some things on the field, and I asked him, well, 17-3, does that make you happy? And he said, well, you know what? I'm never happy. Back to you.
That kind of echoes what we talked about, 17-3. It could be a lot worse than that. But of course, John Gruden, he's thinking it needs to be a lot better than that. That's Graham for a couple.
Trust me, it's better than being on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, right. Pickup of 2 by Graham. Brian in motion. Wide open Smith. He's had Smith all day, and Smith will get the easy first down. Chopped down by Chris Houston. A look at the first half numbers.
And the story's told right here. Turnovers and points off turnovers. That is the difference in this game. I mean, you actually look at rush yards. The Falcons are 2-1 in the first half over the Buccaneers, but that doesn't matter when you turn over the ball and you turn the ball over deep in your own territory.
positive for the Falcons. It seems as though they've been able to run the ball a little bit better than Tampa Bay. They started out with the passes that got them in trouble with Matt Ryan. The long post corner route by Galloway. Ball in the air too long. Incomplete. The marker is down.
10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's a holding call on Jeremy Zuda, the rookie out of Rutgers. Right guard. They'll go back.
We've seen both quarterbacks now miss people high. The ball sailing on both of those guys. Sometimes that can be because you're overstriding, or maybe you're throwing off your back foot. It can be any number of things, but the bottom line is both guys are missing receivers that are open.
First and 20 at the 17.
And the penalties hurt them last week against the Saints. Hurt the run game. They get good runs and go backwards. Going backwards here. Wide open, Graham, and Graham gashes him. Got back some of that penalty yard. Tackled by Lawyer Malloy. A quick look at our fantasy update here. The guy nodded today, Brian Greasy, 13 of 23 for almost 100. Warwick Dunn with 1 touchdown. Not a whole lot on the ground, but some big third down catches from Mike Hilliard.
But 17 of those 19 yards were the most exciting yards of the day on either side. Watch the highlights because that run was great by Warwick Dunn.
11 yards by Graham, 2nd and 9. Trouble, sack. Jonathan Babineau. And Tony, you talked about it. This defensive line and the entire defense for the Falcons, for the most part, has hung in there in spite of some bad field position.
And Jonathan Babineau is giving Aaron Sears all he wants today. Watch this right here. Watch the head fake, a little shimmy move, and then slaps him with his inside arm. And Aaron Sears never has a chance, meaning Brian Greasy doesn't have a chance to even look downfield. Babineau is having a very good day so far, especially when he's matched up against Sears.
Babineau, second-year man, 4-year man out of Iowa. Second-round pick back in 05. That's Graham again. And Graham is well short of the first. That'll bring on the punt team for Tampa Bay.
We're talking about Jonathan Babineau. That's big today because they're missing their big run stuff for Grady Jackson, a guy who was dominant last week, who was a big part of the victory over Detroit. And Jonathan Babineau has come in and is filling the void both in the run and the pass.
So this will be Bidwell standing at the 12. Adam Jennings is deep. Not a great punt. Gets a good roll, though. A marker goes down as the ball rolls down to the 20-yard line, just inside the 20-yard line. 54-yard punt. Let's check the call.
Holding. Number 20 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Brent Grimes. Atlanta will go back. We'll step away 17-3 early in the third quarter.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. By Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. By State Farm. When you're there, State Farm is there. Proud sponsor of the NFL and the best day of the week. And by Budweiser American Ale. Discover the robust flavor of Budweiser American Ale.
So Todd Weiner will stay in at the tackle spot for the injured Sam Baker. And Weiner gives a little experience to this crew, Tony. You're looking outside of that, a very young offensive line. The rookie Baker, second-year man in Blaylock, second-year man in Dahl, third-year man in Clabo. First and 10 run. And this Buccaneer defense has been there. Kevin Carter is there first. And it started off with the interception, Aqib Talib. And they have been bent on stopping the run. And of course, they saw that film last week against the Detroit Lions. And they knew they had to be solid against Michael Turner.
And don't forget, they run a similar scheme to the Detroit Lions because Rod Marinelli was on this staff for so long, as was Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator for the Lions. And so they learned from that tape of what not to do.
Second down and 7. Pressure backside, ball's up. And it's incomplete. Chris Hovan on the pressure. And last week, The Bucs gave up a ton of yards, 337 net yards passing and 3 touchdowns to Drew Brees.
We talk about pressure in this Bucs defense, getting after a young quarterback. Gaines Adams running around. Chris Hoban having a little meet at the party. You know, meet for a party at the quarterback. Nothing you like as an offensive lineman when you look back and your quarterback is getting smashed by multiple guys.
3rd and 7. Ryan just throwing it up, trying to get off the field. Intended for...
Quarterback is out of the pocket. Quarterback is out of the pocket. Fourth down.
Hard to say who that was intended for. Quarterback was out of the pocket.
He was just trying to get it across the line of scrimmage and make sure he was outside the pocket. Because if he wouldn't have been outside the pocket, Ron, intentional grounding, but he was in the end zone, which would have resulted in a safety.
Absolutely. Dexter Jackson is deep. Great position now for the Bucs. Kanan kicking away, and Kanan gets off a beauty. Taking Dexter all the way back to the 30. And Jackson gets upfield. Maybe a couple of marker goes down. A lot of special teams penalties today. 55-yard punt.
And they'll just kill your field position.
Yeah.
I mean, backed up the Falcons on the last with the penalty and the fact that Jennings let the ball hit the ground and roll.
Illegal block in the back. Number 31 in the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Philip Buchanan with the infraction. 17-3 Bucs. Some early game headliners. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers fight back and go on the route to the Detroit Lions. 328 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Darren McFadden got healthy out there in Oakland.
And Jennings was the recipient of a lot of those Rodgers yards thrown with 160-plus passing receiving yards.
Dunn turns the corner and a stiffy. Warwick Dunn with the stiff arm. A marker goes down. Could be holding.
Holding. Number 80 of the offense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Oh, that's Michael Clayton. He was inactive last week. Has not been the same guy as he was the first year.
Michael Clayton working in motion and was complaining about the lack of no playing time and being inactive last week and wanted a chance. Well, that's not what you do when you do get a chance. You can't grab the jersey, especially when you're on the point of attack.
Clayton with a rookie team record of 80 catches his rookie year. And coincidentally, Brian Greasy was throwing the ball to him. Then since that time, he hasn't been close to that number. First and 19 after the penalty. He just gets it off to Graham. Graham with a nice move. Graham is still going. Boy, Graham is like someone let a bowling ball out of their bag on top of a mountain. By the time it gets down to the village, watch out. 12 yards. And great second and third effort by Graham.
Michael Boley is going to show the blitz maybe a little bit early to give Greasy the time to figure out right where he wants to go with the ball. Perfect play for the situation. And then just watch Ernest Graham when he gets the ball in his hands. Big, powerful guy who can make people miss at the same time.
Graham with a new contract in the offseason, and well-deserved. He did it the hard way, worked his way up from a guy who was 3rd string, 4th string. As they complete that one, Ike Hilliard for the first. Works his way all the way up to the starting guy and the guy. And I'll say this, Tony, if he continues to play like he played last week, even though they lost, and showing flashes like that, you will have to consider him for a Pro Bowl at the end of the year.
Well, and I love what he told us. He said that the money was nice. I mean, you hear about these big salaries and it's all about the money, but he said, you know what, for me, it was more about the validation of all the hard work and perseverance throughout my career, and I got rewarded for it.
Graham with a stiff arm, lowers his shoulder, and he's got that nasty kind of uncoiling to a guy right before contact.
Well, he just has a nasty disposition about himself, the way he plays the game, and I think it comes from playing special teams for all those years. I mean, you have to remember, a year ago at this time, the beginning of the season, he was covering kicks, going down, tackling people, blocking. really playing physical football, and he's carried that over to his running style.
5 years with the Bucs, and only last year did he get a chance to become the starter and show his stuff. Led the team in rushing and was third on the team in receiving behind Galloway and Hilliard. There's a throw outside. I'm not sure if Greasy wanted to get that one completed. He had a man there looking for Ike Hilliard. Troy Bierman on the pressure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that was forced because of the pressure.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Falcons front four is getting after him. And they've done a good job of that for the most part, getting in his face, forcing throws a little bit earlier than he might want to make them.
3rd and 9 coming up. Good production today by Ike Hilliard.
Ike Hilliard's right here. Watch for the ball to go to him on 3rd down.
Good point. Watch the way he works in there. There it is. Oh! Just a little high. Would have been an easy 1st down. Instead, it's a punt for Tampa Bay.
And those are the throws that drive John Gruden crazy. He's going to find and sit down right in this area of the zone. He's wide open, almost like a wheel route. And I think Greasy expected him to continue down the field. Ike Hilliard sat down, and that might be a lack of timing. They haven't had a lot of reps before this week together.
Nearly blocked. Did well. To Jennings. Jennings at the 26. Avoids one. Can't avoid another one. And another flag. Alex Smith hustling down with the tackle. 44-yard punt. And it seems like every single special teams play, there's a flag.
It's getting ridiculous. I mean, this is sloppy football. These teams are coached better than this.
You look at the block in the back. 28 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Thomas Deku with the penalty. We'll be back. Goodbye. And the Atlanta Falcons are on the fringe of losing control of this one. But not yet, Tony.
No, there's plenty of time left. They're only down 2 possessions. I still think you got to run the ball here. I don't think it's time to panic at all.
A quick throw outside, complete. And that's LaRon Robinson. Let's go out to Los Angeles for this game break.
Well, after a Brett Favre interception, Matt Castle and the Patriots take advantage. Lawrence Maroney takes it in from a yard out, makes it 13-3 New England in the 3rd. And guys, so far, Castle 11 for 15, 125 yards passing. Not bad numbers, Ron and Tony.
Yeah, so in other words, the Patriots aren't done yet.
No, I mean, listen, this guy, they didn't keep him around for all this time because he couldn't play. They had confidence in Matt Castle.
2 tight end set for the Falcons. The give to Turner. Turner looking, trying to be patient. Whoa, helmet to helmet. Buchanan, along with Tanard Jackson, came up to lay wood.
And they're going to try to get Michael Turner on the outside and pull the right guard Dahl and the center McClure outside and try to seal off that Buccaneer defense. And then the rest is Michael Turner delivering a blow. We teach the kids, be the hammer and not the nail. He was the hammer there.
5-yard pickup. That was Tanard Jackson with the helmet-to-helmet hit. 3rd and 2. No run. They'll try to pass it. The marker is down. Complete. 1st down. That's Roddy White, but let's check the marker. It's in the backfield.
Holding 74 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Todd Weiner.
Todd Weiner working against Greg White. In for Sam Baker. Greg White uses the old Reggie White hump move. Just clubbed him, threw him to the ground, and all Todd Weiner could do is hold on for dear life and bring him down. It's the smart move because if he doesn't, his young quarterbacks get hit in the back of the head.
You tell a great story. Maybe we can get to it a little later on about the Pro Bowl and Reggie White.
Yeah, I was very aware of that club move. It's the last thing you want to happen as an offensive line is get thrown out of the bar. That's what we call it. You get thrown on the ground. It's very embarrassing.
3rd and 12. Long throw outside, and I believe they got it. Let's see where they mark it. Roddy White working on Buchanan. Oh, it's going to be close.
We've seen Roddy White all day working against Philip Buchanan. And Philip Buchanan using, or respecting, I should say, Roddy White's speed. Great effort by Roddy White trying to get the first down, but it's going to be just short.
13 yards, and you said it, Tony, just short of the first down.
Okay, clock is running. You got.
So Atlanta will have to turn it over on fourth down.
The red flag, Mike Smith is throwing the red flag out. I think it's smart. I think you take a chance and see if you get one here. You're down by 2 scores. See if you can get the first down, get the possession, the mark on the field changed.
Atlanta is challenging the forward progress spot on the previous play.
And you can challenge a spot as it pertains to a first down. We'll be back for that challenge.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
See Roddy White circled right at the bottom of the screen, and he's going to try to stretch out before he goes out of bounds to get that ball before it crosses the plane of the out of bounds. And it's just tough, Ron. It has to be conclusive evidence to overturn it. I don't know if there's going to be enough evidence after they look at it to overturn the call, but I still like it. I like the call by Mike Smith of throwing the red flag. See if you can get one here and keep your offense on the field.
Here comes Jeff Triplett with an answer.
After reviewing the play, the runner did not step out of bounds, but extended the ball to the 26.5. We will spot the ball at the 26.5 and look for a first down.
So they'll respot it and measure it.
It was hard to tell, but obviously they felt like they had enough.
It's a first down.
Yeah, enough information.
First down. Atlanta is not charged a timeout.
Yep, there it is. Jeff Triplett just called it after he looked at it again. So,
and we said right call by Mike Smith. I mean, you need to pull out all the stops. You're down by 2 scores. You got a young quarterback, young team. We've talked about all that today. And see if this is the thing that can get you over the hump and get some momentum back on your side.
And a good job by Roddy White, the leading receiver last year and last week. A good job of stretching out. End around to Roddy White. Roddy White can't quite turn the corner. He'll go out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. For this update for Seattle and San Francisco, let's go out to Los Angeles.
Remember that weird Seattle defensive touchdown we scored you earlier? Well, San Francisco got it back. Walt Harris breaks it up right into the hands of Patrick Willis, and the second-year linebacker takes it 86 yards for the score. Hey, they've evened up defensive touchdowns and evened up the score 20-20. Ron and Tony.
And with the injuries Seattle has had on the perimeter with their wide receivers, they have become a very beatable team now.
Huge game for Seattle. They can't afford to go to 0-2. Arizona right now is beating Miami 24-3. They'd be 2-0. 2 games back out of the gates is tough. And then on top of the injuries they have, it might be too big a hill to overcome.
That's Norwood. He picks up 3. It'll make it a 3rd and 5. 3rd down conversions today. 9 or more has been trouble. A backward throw and a great catch by LaRon Robinson. And that's a first down for Atlanta. So the drive continues.
We want to talk about great hands. I mean, we talk about fingertip catches. That was a fingertip catch behind him as he's sprinting across the field. And that's what you have to do if you're the Falcons. All the veterans are going to have to make plays to help the rookie quarterback.
Second catch today for Robinson. Didn't have a catch last week at all. Play action, looking to bootleg and roll out, going deep. It's not there. It'll be a jump ball. Looking for White, and the marker is down the backfield.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 91 of the defense. Launched, hit him with the crown of his head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Greg White, the man who led the team in sacks last year with 8. Yeah, you can't launch and then put your helmet.
Oh, and he came with his head down.
No, you
That's
can't
a dangerous
do that.
play.
It's dangerous for the quarterback and for himself.
Well, Ron, you know something on that play that was interesting? That ball really floated on Matt Ryan. Didn't see a lot of arm strength. And it looked like he had everything into it. It was interesting to see, something to watch.
Yeah.
As you watch Matt Ryan on the deep ball, it's twice he's underthrown guys on fly patterns, which is a long bomb.
You know, pressure will do that to a guy.
Yeah, I mean, you might be thinking about Greg White spearing him at the same time.
Especially a young guy. Throws that one up. He started to go downfield, then he started to go to his check down, then said, no, let me see if I can fit it downfield. And in this league, you don't have that kind of time.
And we talked about the Buccaneer pressure by the front 4. They're only going to rush 4 guys, and when you can get pressure on a quarterback with only 4 guys, that's a victory. But I want to say something. For the most part, that's good time. He had plenty of time to scan the field and look around. So the offensive line's hanging in there. He's got to find somebody, or somebody's got to get open.
Absolutely. 2nd and 10. Maybe they'll get back to the run game. Nope. Deep out and a catch. A high one, but LaRon Robinson with his 3rd catch of the day, working on Rondé Barber. A marker is down. We'll check that in a minute.
And Lauren Robinson's been the guy to go to on this series, working against the All-Pro Rondé Barber. Did a good job of selling the deep pattern, getting enough cushion.
Pass interference, defense, number 20. That penalty is declined. First down.
Tony, you gotta like Mike Mularkey's guts. He's got a young quarterback. He got in trouble early, but he is not pulling in the reins. He said, we're going to keep on throwing it.
Listen, everyone in the Falcons organization has a ton of confidence in Matt Ryan.
And they'll throw it again. That one's there again. Harriet Douglas. And Douglas, the rookie out of Louisville, he works on Phillip Buchanan this time for 21. Buchanan looking in the backfield.
Anytime you can get a corner's hips turned, you've won as a receiver. And they've been working Phillip Buchanan with both Roddy White and Douglas.
And this drive started all the way back around the 20-yard line. Mike Smith came with a challenge. It paid off, and the drive is still going. Turner bangs into his own man. Looked like he hit Mahaley trying to get out of the backfield. And he didn't get a whole lot. He picks up 1. That's Mike Mularkey there, the offensive coordinator. Second and 9. Turner and Mahaley in the backfield. Play action. Mahaley's got it. He's inside the 5-yard line. We'll see officially where they mark it. Jermaine Phillips came up with the hit.
Great job by Atlanta, working everything, all the offensive line. You see the flow of the linebackers going this way. Roll out, and Mahaley's going to work in the flat. Well-designed play by Mike Mularkey. Brings up a big 3rd down. They need to get in the end zone. They don't want to settle for 3 points.
This drive started at the Falcons' 16-yard line. 3rd and 3. Norwood can't get outside. Tanard Jackson. That's a great play. That's a Pro Bowl type of play.
Well, Ron, they've been keeping the safeties all day long up in the line of scrimmage, and then when you're this close to the goal line, you have no threat of the deep ball. Those safeties are playing close, and when you have tacklers, the safeties who tackle like Phillips and Tanard Jackson, it's tough to run the ball down there.
27 yards out for Elam. and Elam puts points on the board. So the challenge keeps the drive alive, and the drive staying alive turns into 3 points for the Atlanta Falcons.
You're watching Eli fillet the fish, but you're missing Peyton pummel the Panthers.
If you had DirecTV, you could see up to 8 NFL games live on the same screen, so you'll never miss a thing.
8 games on one screen, only on DirecTV.
Well, Tampa Bay jumped out to a 17-0 lead, and then Elam fought back to help make it 17-13, but tell you, it feels like the Atlanta Falcons are starting to make a push, and they made a big statement on that drive.
They are, but field goals aren't going to win this game. They got to get in the end zone. That's twice they've been there, point blank opportunities, unable to push it across the goal line.
And penalties continuing to kill Tampa Bay. They had 7 last week, now 10 this week. Jackson with a hole, and Jackson out to about the 30-yard line. Brent Grimes on the tackle. Well, this October, baseball will move on to the postseason for a month of unscripted, thrilling, and gut-wrenching moments. Let's see who will be crowned the champion. Coverage of baseball's postseason begins October 9th with the NLCS, followed by the World Series right here on Fox.
Ron, did you see K-Rod got the all-time saves lead? I think it was last night or the night before for the Angels. So congratulations to him.
Play action to Dunn. Greasy nowhere to go, lets it go. Might be out of bounds, and it is out of bounds. Complete to Smith, but it won't count.
And that might have been in question a year ago before the no force out rule. Now the defensive players can push and hit the guys as hard as they want near the sideline, and it doesn't matter if they would have got their feet in or not. Lori Malloy taking advantage of that rule. Good job of shoving Alex Smith out of bounds.
Time winding down here in the third quarter. Give to Dunn on second down. There goes Warwick Dunn. And Dunn with a nice run. That's a first down for Tampa Bay. 15 yards.
Ron, you know one guy we haven't called his name very often or at all today is John Abraham. Donald Penn doing a good job. Right there, just takes himself out of the play. Little inside run. As a tackle, let that defensive end run up the field all he wants.
And it looks like the Buccaneers are going to let the third quarter run out. Let it run out on a good note by that man, Warwick Dunn. They'll be set up at close to midfield, ball at about the 47, 46-yard line when we start the fourth quarter. And that is the end of the third. Tampa Bay
of the
17,
third quarter.
Atlanta 6. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Fox 13, the first TV station in America to harness the power of Omni.
Ron Pitts, Tony Baselli, we start the fourth and final quarter here in Tampa Bay. The dump down to Dunn, and Dunn is out to about midfield. Ron Pitts, hey Tony, how you doing way up
He's
there?
sitting down.
All right, so what would you say about the decision to replace Garcia with Greasy thus far?
Well, if you're just going to go by the score, it's the right one. But I don't think this offense has looked any more efficient with Greasy back there than Garcia. A lot of missed opportunities, a couple missed long balls. So I think the jury, the verdict still is out.
Second down and 4. Dunn with a nice spin move and a first down. He got 6. The stats after 3.
At halftime, the Atlanta Falcons had 72 yards rushing, only getting 11 in the third quarter, but they got the passing game going a little bit. I mean, it goes back to turnovers, and coaches will talk to you all the time about the turnovers. If you don't win the turnover battle, more times than not, you won't win the game.
Joey Galloway looks to be in a little bit of pain. We'll try to get an update on him in a minute. Wide open. John Gilmore, and Gilmore is down to the 5-yard line. A busted coverage somewhere. 35 yards on the pass play.
Yeah, somebody needs to run with John Gilmore, the tight end. Watch Brooking and Lord Malloy. I believe the mix-up is there. One of those two guys has to get into the deep zone. It almost looks like Lord Malloy thought he had the flat and didn't get any depth to run with the tight end. But again, we've seen this a couple times today. Guys running wide open in the secondary.
Oh, great play in the backfield there. We've called this guy's name a lot. Jonathan Babineau.
He's really the player of the day so far for this Falcon defense. Putting pressure on the quarterback, and you can see him. He's trying to get his guys fired up, talking to everybody. He's playing with a lot of energy today.
Second and goal. The check down, and a blow-up shot. Michael Boley on B.J. Askew.
I'm not sure what B.J. Askew's telling Michael Boley. I just might want to walk back to the huddle.
Go back to the huddle.
After I got my head knocked off. My goodness. I've never understood that. Why are guys talking after they get knocked out? Woo! I mean, unless he's saying scoreboard or something like that, you just need to be quiet.
That's not an easy guy to knock out like that. Askew was 235 pounds. Boley at only 220. Third and goal. Pressure around the corner. Ball's loose. Fumble. And it's recovered by Atlanta. Jason Jefferson with the recovery. John Abraham came around the backside.
Guess who has shown up to the party? John Abraham beating Donald Penn, causing the fumble.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. By Windows. And by FedEx, your ultimate NFL air and ground player.
Earlier in the game, we talked about the game within the game and the matchup between John Abraham and Donald Penn, as well as Jeremy Trueblood on the other side. And it finally came to fruition. That's a big play. And trouble in the backfield. They mix it up. Somehow Turner didn't get the handoff. Let's go back to that sack by Abraham. And
Abraham's going to be lined up real wide, trying to get away from Donald Penn. Just going to beat him on a spin move, a little rip move. Donald Penn's been doing a good job, and this actually is not that bad of a job. Brian Greasy holds the ball too long, and instead of stepping up to help his tackle out, he tries to sprint outside, giving Donald Penn no chance to block John Abraham.
Technically on that last play, they give Adams and Carter credit for the sack. Second and long. Pressure inside. Ryan out of the pocket. He gets a couple. Let's go down to Michelle Turner.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I got a couple big injuries for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Aqib Talib, their big first-rounder, he is out right now with a right hamstring. He is questionable on his return. And the wide receiver, Joey Galloway, he has left the field. He has a foot sprain. His return also questionable. Back to you.
Those are two significant injuries, especially Joey Galloway. Because Talib now hurts your nickel package. He was the nickel corner, 3rd and 8. A strike, a fumble, what do they call it? Picked up by Piscatelli. He loses it. Markers go down and the scrum starts.
What in the heck is Savvy Piscatelli thinking? He needs to hold on to that ball. That's way too big a play to do something silly and stupid like that.
Jermaine Phillips knocked it out. It looked like it might be an illegal lateral by Piscatelli. But you're right, Tony. I don't know what he's thinking. You get a turnover inside enemy territory, as we like to say, on the other side of the 50. Hold on to the ball, please.
Now the fight and the scrum is going on at the bottom of the pile. Who knows what is happening down there?
Yeah, Atlanta players saying they've got it, but they're not the official call.
It might have changed hands about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, some ugly things go on at the bottom of that pile.
I've been down on a couple of those.
You were one of those guys doing the dirty stuff down the pile. I know you were.
I'll take the 5th.
Thank you. So Atlanta comes up with the football.
And Roddy White working, finding the soft spot of the zone. Another deep end. Phillips, just textbook tackle. Something that the Buccaneers are very good at, creating turnovers. And then Sammy Piscatelli, I have no idea what he is trying to do on this play. He's made a big play, recovered it. Don't get greedy.
Well, Tony, do they call it a fumble? I mean, the fact that they went through the discussion down there tells me they were treating it like a fumble, but let's wait to listen in on what Jeff Triplett has to say. And now there could be some challenge issues here, because the question is whether or not he had possession in the first place.
And remember, Ron, you have to have 2 feet on the ground. The ball's caught 1, 2, and then comes the strip. From that angle, you can't see if he was bobbling it or not because we're blocked by his back. But from that angle, it looks like it would have been a catch and a fumble. And then the bad play by Piscatelli.
All right, we have fouls on both teams during the play. We have a completion, then a fumble, then an illegal forward pass. Number 20 of the offense. Then after the change of possession, number 43 of the defense. Personal foul. Referee passer on the play. So by rule, those penalties will offset and replay 3rd down.
Okay, the numbers are wrong on the Atlanta player. It's not number 20 on offense, number 1, but they are saying it's a completed pass.
But Ron, here's the other thing. Both those fouls he talked about were on the Buccaneers.
Right.
Piscatelli was the one who did the illegal pass, forward pass, and then the illegal hit of roughing the passer was on Albert Mack, who's replacing Aqib Talib at the nickel position. So there's a mix-up. It looks like both fouls should be on the Buccaneers and not offsetting.
Here's the completion. Okay, it is a completion. They've called that a completion.
And here's the illegal forward pass by Sammy Piscatelli, which should have been a penalty. They called that penalty on the Falcons, which is a mistake.
Mike Smith is very upset.
And if I was Mike Smith, they would have to hold my cord, tackle me, because I'd be on the field letting them know that that is not correct. And right now, he's just trying to keep his composure.
See the way he put his hands behind his back and smiled? That was confusing, to say the least.
And that's what he's telling him. He just told Kurt Triplett the forward pass was on Tampa Bay, and the illegal hit was on Tampa Bay. Let's see if he can convince him. I agree with Mike Smith. I don't understand the call. And Keith Brookie told us that Mike Smith was a fiery guy. He said, don't let the calm demeanor fool you. He will get after you, and he is getting after Kurt Triplett right now. Now all the officials will get together and let's hope they can figure this out. Great execution by the Falcons offense. Good time. He steps up in the pocket just like he's supposed to, throws a strike, and this is where the play gets interesting. Clearly a fumble. Bonehead play by Piscatelli, which is the forward pass. That's where I believe the mistake was made by the officials. And we don't have the roughing the passer by Albert Mack, who took a shot at Matt Ryan. And they're still talking about it, trying to figure out. And it looks like the fact that Mike Smith is smiling, they figured it out. Let's listen.
There's a correction on the penalty enforcement. The play occurred was a completed pass, fumble, recovered by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, number 20, threw an illegal forward pass. During the illegal forward pass, while the ball is loose, number 43 of Tampa Bay also commits a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Since both fouls occurred on Tampa Bay and Atlanta ended up with the football, it'll be Atlanta's football, and we'll penalize the personal foul, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Okay, it's almost right. Actually, that's 21, Sabby Piscatelli with the illegal lateral, and the personal foul is on Elbert Mack, 43.
And here's the personal foul, the cheap shot.
Yep.
I don't care where the quarterback is on the field, Ron. You can't hit those guys in the head.
Yeah, and he might see some paper come out of his paycheck later on this week on that one.
And the rule is also, if the quarterback's not trying to make a play, you can't deliberately go after him. Now, if he's trying to make a tackle, you can block him. I'm sure Elbert Mack's excuse, or how he's going to justify that play, is he felt like Matt Ryan was trying to get involved in the tackle or in the play.
So to sum this up in a nutshell, the best I can,
it worked out for Atlanta.
There was a completed catch and a fumble, of which Atlanta recovered. In that process, there were 2 fouls on Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay has been penalized for both. They were tacked on. That's why the ball has moved forward. First down. Completion. Michael Turner. No one wraps up. Turner's going to keep moving. He's down to about the 43-yard line, a pickup of 6.
You talk about Michael Turner, and he's coming off of the career-setting or record-setting day last week, and this Tampa Bay defense has done a great job of keeping him out of the game plan, of not letting him beat them and embarrass them like he did Detroit last week and make other people make plays.
And the big picture here is that the Falcons are still in this game. The sack by John Abraham, the ball goes loose. They get the ball and they keep the drive going here. The toss to Turner. Turner looks to be about a yard or so short of the first. Rondé Barber is there first. Let's see what they mark it.
We got a little old option, something you might see in college football only. Matt Ryan working down.
A quick flip.
Yeah, line of scrimmage and reading the defensive end. Jimmy Wilkerson. In the NFL, you can lose a quarterback doing that.
Yeah, that won't exactly take you back to the days of Thomas Lott in Oklahoma running the speed option, but
yeah, it wasn't Tommy Frazier or anything.
They got the point. 3rd and 1. Straight ahead, smart call. A marker's down. Looks to be an easy first down for Turner, but let's check out the call.
Illegal formation, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
All right, so Atlanta shoots himself in the foot a little bit there.
Ron, what they did on that play, they used Todd Weiner. They flipped him on the other side, put both tackles on the same side of the line of scrimmage, and if you don't have a receiver covering up, even though he's playing a tight end position, you have to have a receiver covering him because he has an ineligible number, and that's why you have the illegal procedure.
So after the penalty and an easy conversion on 3rd, now you're looking at 3rd and 6. Buccaneers late to line up, and they pay the price. LaRon Robinson, he's got the first and then some. He's down to the 20-yard line. Bucks couldn't get lined up, and Matt Ryan made him pay.
And LaRon Robinson's been the guy that Matt Ryan's looked for this second half. This is his 3rd catch. Another big play. You see Jarius Norwood working down the field, the extra effort, trying to spring Robinson for a couple extra yards.
Boy, and Matt Ryan, I think, has grown up a lot in this second half.
You gotta love the no quit, the composure the kid showing after the way he started the game.
Kid who graduated early, started the NFL pro routine in spring because he graduated early. Was down in Atlanta early as they give this ball to Jarius Norwood. He was in the meeting room, taking all the snaps. They anointed him the starter early in minicamp. And it was interesting what Mike Smith said about the first meeting he had with Matt Ryan. I looked him in the eye and said, hey, if we had a chance to start you, would you feel more comfortable being thrown into the fire and taking your lumps, or would you rather just have us just work you in slowly? He said, no, I want to be the guy. I want to start.
That sold Mike Smith right there.
2nd down and 6. 2 tight ends on the field. Plenty of time. Incomplete. Looked as though he might have been going to Jarius Norwood, but Barrett Ruud was there. In a first half, second half comparison, there is a big difference.
And that's what, I mean, that's what you're talking about, Ron. They said the one thing that all his coaches said from college, that he's a gym rat. He's a guy who loves the game, loves studying the game. And you can see that he has never given up on himself, and the team hasn't given up on him or the coaching staff.
3rd and 6. Jenkins sets up on the other side. Ryan's out of there, throws it. Was he across the line? It's complete to Douglas inside the 5. He was very close if he wasn't over.
Here's the line of scrimmage right there, and let's see if Matt Ryan crosses the yellow line. 17-yard line. He steps up.
But remember, your entire body and the ball have to be over, and there goes a red flag by Tampa Bay. The officials see it. This play won't count.
And that was officially the longest challenge flag throw I've ever seen. A 25-yarder. They didn't, usually the coach will run down there and get their attention, a little toss. That was a fastball from the 25-yard line.
Tampa Bay is challenging the ruling on the previous play that the quarterback was not beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the pass.
They are challenging to see if he was beyond the line of scrimmage. We'll be back for that challenge. And here's Jeff Triplett with an answer. The body
after
and the
reviewing
ball
the play, the quarterback is not beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. Tampa Bay is charged with timeout.
That's right. The quarterback's entire body and the football both have to be over.
Ron, the line of scrimmage was a 17-yard line, so that's approximately where that is. And as he throws the ball, he clearly is behind it right here. His whole body has to be in front of it, and it's not. Those weren't very good lines. Not very straight. I did not get an A in art.
It may not be real clear, but those are the rules.
Put the play clock at 25 seconds. 25.
So, more importantly, the play counts, and the ball is inside the 5-yard line.
And plenty of time. 6:05 on the clock. Plenty of time in this game. You can run any play you want here, run or pass. They've done a great job of sticking with the game plan and not panicking. Hats off to Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator and play caller.
Atlanta down by 11, threatening to score. Quarterback draw. Do you think it was planned?
Ryan on the run.
If it is, I don't like the call because Matt Ryan is not the most mobile or the type of guy who's going to make anyone miss. And so unless it's a gaping hole, that play doesn't have a lot of chance of scoring. And he looks downfield.
Boy,
it's either
looks planned. I don't know.
It's either a one receiver route and he wasn't there and he took off, or it was a planned draw.
2nd and goal. Ryan in trouble. Smart move, throws it away. He's out of the pocket. He can do that. Javon Hay in pursuit.
Pressure applied by number 71, Javon Hay.
Roddy White working out here, trying to find some room. And he's working he sits down in the back of the end zone, but he's wide open there. But let's not forget, Matt Ryan is running to his right. And if he tries to make that throw, that's an interception. It's so hard to throw it back across your body to the center of the field. Quarterbacks are taught not to do that.
3rd and goal. Robinson down at the bottom, right up top. Roll out again. Still looking. Back across the body this time. And out of the end zone. And that will bring on the field goal unit for Atlanta.
And this is the right call. You don't need to go for it. You make the field goal. It's 9-17, 8-point game. Remember, NFL, just like college, you can score and go for 2, so they can still tie it with 1 possession.
25 yards.
So Elam has made 19 consecutive field goals, looking for 20, and looking for his 3rd today. 25 yards out. It's clean, no flags. And so the Falcons continue to stay in this one, 17-9. Thanks again to John Abraham and some crazy plays.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevy, an American Revolution.
Boy, what a turnaround for Matt Ryan. He started out 0 for 9 and 2 interceptions, both which led to scores. Since then, 12 for 21, 145 yards. Can't get it in the end zone, though, Tony, in the red area, but he's not giving it away.
And
Kanan, I'm sorry.
And Mike Mularkey lost no confidence and continued to call the pass.
Kanan kicks it away. Jackson. And Jackson goes down hard at the 20-yard line. Jason Snelling puts him down. Greasy in the offense when we come back. Greasy's numbers about probably what John Gruden wanted or expected. I don't know if it's what he wanted, but expected solid.
But not great.
Not great, no, but that's kind of what Greasy has been almost throughout his career, especially since he left Denver.
But this is where he needs to make a statement and take this offense over. That's why he was given the starting job this week.
And one way to help make that statement is to run the football. Ernest Graham for a couple inside.
And we talked about it at the top, Ron, that Garcia was not benched because of injury. He was benched because of performance. They talked about Greasy giving them the best chance to win. That's what John Gruden said. And they are winning right now, but they have not been very efficient offensively. And they should be winning by more if Greasy hit some guys who are wide open down the field. And unlike Garcia, who had the excuse of not getting very many reps in the preseason, Greasy ran with the first team the whole preseason and had all the preseason games.
2nd and 9, 8-point game. 4:20 and counting. Pitch to Graham. Graham looking for the first, and Graham has it. And that's key because that will force the clock to run.
Yeah, we're right at the 4-minute mark, and we practice these situations when you're in camp. It's called 4-minute offense. This is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's a 1-possession game. They want to get this big offensive line, and Graham, who just limped off. So now Warwick Dunn start running the ball and try to keep the ball, force Atlanta to use timeouts. And this is on the other side of the ball. This is where Atlanta's defense needs to step up one more time. They've been doing it the whole second half. They've been playing great. They need to get Tampa off the field.
So Dunn checks in for Ernest Graham. Graham did limp off. We'll get an update on him. Dunn goes right at the teeth of it and doesn't get much. And a quick look at our game summary as a timeout is called by Atlanta.
Timeout.
The turnovers, those loom big early on.
30-second timeout.
As Atlanta came out winging the ball. At first we didn't understand why. But later on, the plan started to work, and we have given kudos to Mike Mularkey for staying with the program.
Well, and the reason they had to throw the ball is because all day long, Tampa Bay has been putting Tanar Jackson and Jermaine Phillips right at the line of scrimmage saying, beat us if you can. And now Roddy White, Lauren Robinson, Michael Jenkins have done a good job outside against those corners in some one-on-one situations, in the second half especially. And so, hey, listen, if you would have told me before the game that Turner was only going to have 42 yards rushing, but that Atlanta would only be down by 1 score, I thought you were crazy. Give a lot of credit to this Atlanta team to hang in there after that start. They are in this game. They have a chance to get the ball back if the defense can do a good job and tie it up.
Graham checks back in. There goes Ernest Graham. A huge run. He could take this one the distance. Slowing down, makes a cut. Graham will score. A 68-yard touchdown run that will put Ernest Graham over 100 for the day, and it may shut the door on the Atlanta Falcons.
First time this half that the Falcons defense has not done their part, has not shown up when they needed it most. They've held this Tampa Bay offense in check the whole second half, but that time Graham was just too much.
That was the longest rush ever by Ernest Graham, 68 yards. And I mentioned earlier, if he continues to play like he played last week and now today, you will have to consider this man in his 5th year out of Florida for a Pro Bowl.
And this was just going to be an inside zone play to the left. Ernest Graham cut it all the way backside to the other side of the field. Atlanta's defense was playing aggressive, flows front side hard, trying to make a tackle, trying to get them off the field. Ernest Graham takes advantage of that aggressive flow, uses the great vision and the feet he has to work it backside all the way. And then Antonio Bryant with the big block backside. Anytime you have a big run by a running back, a receiver downfield makes a play, and there he did it again. First, Antonio Bryant blocks Grimes, and then look at him hustle down the field, leading the convoy and pushes Houston into the end zone, ushering the way for Ernest Graham into the end zone.
15 carries, 116 yards rushing, and a touch. Big missed tackle there by Jamal Anderson.
And those are the plays, Antonio Bryant blocking 2 guys no one will talk about. You don't see those on the highlights. You don't see those, but you do see them in the film room the next day. Coaches point that out, and more important than coaches pointing out, guys on that sideline know when guys make big plays like that.
So the Bucs take it to 24-9. Norwood breaks through. He fumbles the ball. Boy, when it rains, it absolutely pours. Norwood looked as though he was going to break that one out, then lost the handle. Atlanta retains possession.
You said it, Ron. Norwood breaking out. Savvy Piscatelli does a great job of fighting off the block, trying to redeem himself after the dumb play he had earlier that allowed the Falcons to score the last field goal. Great effort by the safety, getting blocked but never gives up on the play and almost creates a turnover.
He's going to get a credit for 2 things on that play, getting pancaked and causing a fumble. Ryan in trouble. Not down yet, but there he goes. Gains Adams. Third sack today. Imagine the impossibilities. The premiere encore for Fringe. Coming up tonight, 8/7 Central, right here on Fox. That intended for LaRon Robinson.
The Falcons, it might be a long shot, but still have a chance. If you can run a 2-minute drill here, get down and score a touchdown, you still have the onside. You can't quit. And this is where Mike Smith wants to see the no-quit attitude in his guys. You can see Matt Ryan all day. Not a lot of sacks, but getting hit quite a bit.
And that's 3 sacks, not 4, on Ryan. 3rd and 14. Could be 4 right here. Nice back pedal by Ryan. A marker goes down, throws it across his body, and it's incomplete.
And usually when the quarterback's running around that much, it's holding on the offensive line.
Holding 62 of the offense.
Ryan,
and penalties decline. 4th down.
Ryan very slow to get up.
Tom McClure right here, that's who they call holding on. And it's tough duty as an offensive lineman when the quarterback starts scrambling and you're trying to hold your guy, and he just holds on to Chris Ovan just a little bit too long. Woo. Now Gaines Adams lucky he didn't get a flag on that. Took an extra, maybe an extra step, taking a shot at Matt Ryan.
And it's helmet to the helmet area. The league has made it very clear they do not want any helmet-to-helmet contact or any contact near the heads of the quarterback.
Their second.
Timeout by Tampa Bay. So the Atlanta Falcons, after blowing up the Detroit Lions, coming throwing, trying to take advantage of man-to-man coverage outside. Instead, it turned into interceptions, early scores by Tampa Bay.
But in the second half, Atlanta hung in there, came out of halftime fighting. The defense kept them in the game until the very end, until this big Ernest Graham run after he cut back against the grain all the way to the other side of the field, led into the end zone by Antonio Bryan, who had 2 big blocks.
Fourth and 14. Last chance. And it's over. Greg White with the sack. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update.
Chargers and Broncos in a high-scoring one. Denver trying to put this one away, maybe, but Jay Cutler throws a weird pass that's intercepted. Weird as in, who was he throwing it to? Antoine Cason takes advantage, and so San Diego trying to come back and win it with 5.5 left in regulation. Let's go back to Ronnie and Tony.
Oh, they got a good one. But the Chargers still have a long ways to go. The Chargers dropped the first one. Underestimated the Carolina Panthers in that opener.
And the Chargers are going to have to do without Sean Merriman, who elected, I think, which was the right call. Should have done it before the season even started, to have the 2 ligaments that have been torn and his knee fixed.
I believe a timeout has been called by Tampa Bay. John Gruden doesn't look like he called a timeout.
He's trying to figure out, why the heck are we stopping?
The play clock was started incorrectly on the previous play. Therefore, we'll put the play clock back to 25 seconds. Tampa is not charged a timeout.
Okay, there you go. And this guy, what a day he has had.
One of the most physical runners you'll see all year. Never goes down with the first contact. He punishes people. Right there getting after Laura Malloy. And then had the big run to kind of seal this game, put this game away here in the 4th quarter.
We talked earlier about Graham being the 5-sport athlete in high school and even in college, playing multiple.
You know what the 5th sport was?
What?
Volleyball. Now, I'm not sure if it was beach volleyball. You know, he's a Florida guy.
Yeah, pro beach volleyball, right? Yeah. Well, Steve Spurrier would not let him play basketball.
The 2-minute warning.
Or baseball.
Or baseball.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
So barring a miracle, a big win for John Gruden and his Bucks. As we said at the top of the game, he did not want to go 0-2 in the division, having to go to Chicago next week. Then you'll have Green Bay here, at Denver, and then Carolina and Seattle at home. 2nd down and 8. They'll keep this on the ground, no doubt. And that's Warwick done. Another game break out to Los Angeles. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Hey, remember that Jay Cutler interception? Well, this is how the Chargers made him pay. Darren Sproles out of the backfield, 66 yards on the touchdown run. They get the 2-point conversion. Sproles has 2 touchdowns today, that one and a 103-yard kickoff return. Chargers with a 38-31 lead, 4.5 left to play. Ronnie, Tony, and the show.
Made him pay indeed.
It's almost like the first one to 50 wins. I mean, 38 points. I mean, there's still 4.5 minutes left. I promise you there's probably some more fireworks going on.
Atlanta with 2 timeouts still in their pocket. That's done again. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll go home 1-1. Here's a look at their upcoming schedule. And a pretty nicely timed bye.
Especially with a young team, young quarterback.
Right.
You need not only the rest, but the reps, the practice reps.
Well, right, Tony. Don't forget now, as a college quarterback, and Matt Ryan, around mid-October, he's going to think the season's over with.
We're getting close, yeah.
Yeah, because he's been through the 4 preseason. Now you get down to, your 5 or 6.
Games, yep.
Your 5 or 6 regular season. You've already played the game. You're waiting on your bowl game. That's the time to crank it up in the NFL.
Yeah, then you wake up and you realize there's no bowl gifts coming, no bowl watch or anything else. It's just another 10 games of a grueling schedule against big defensive ends who are chasing you down, trying to knock your head off. But bad numbers for Matt Ryan today, and a terrible start. I mean, couldn't be any worse. But I like what I saw of the guy.
I do too.
I like the competitors. I like the fight. I never felt like he hung his head and gave up on the game.
And Mike Mularkey wasn't going to give him an easy way out on anything. Even though he threw the interceptions, keep throwing the football. And another look at our game summary. Greasy finishing 18 for 31, 160 and a touch. And Graham, I still think the man of the day. All in all, 128 yards and a touch.
Well, he's the man of the day on the offense. The men of the day is that front 7 and 8 if you add the safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that held Michael Turner to 42 yards.
And that shows you the kind of day it's been. You're losing and they take the victory kneel. Not a victory kneel for Atlanta. Tampa Bay will get the win. They will go to 1-1. And Atlanta will go to 1-1 as well. And that's the final here in Tampa Bay. We'll return to Tampa Bay to wrap things up after a word from your local Fox station. Let's take a look at today's UPS leaderboard. Ernest Graham finished it up strong. 16 rushes, 115 yards, and the capper, the long touchdown. UPS, what can Brown do for you? Today's promotional consideration provided by. Next on Fox, you'll see a double dose of The Simpsons and a special encore, the series premiere of Fringe, starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Saturday, see the Twins take on the Rays or other regional action on Fox MLB Game of the Week, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for the start in your area. Next week, the NFL on Fox returns, starting with the Fox pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. For Ron Pitts, Tony Baselli, and Michelle Turner, so long from Tampa. Once again, the final score is Tampa Bay 24, the Atlanta Falcons 9. For more information on today's game, log on to foxsports.com. So long, everybody.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com.
You've been watching Fox Sports in HD, presented by DirecTV.